Going to North America has always been a huge dream of mine, something I've been deeply fascinated about, ever since this guy. Christopher Johnson McCandless, a nomad, a free spirit, an outdoorsman, an adventurer who delved into the Alaskan wilderness. At the mere age of 24, he fled to the Alaskan bush with nothing but a 10-pound bag of rice, a plant ID book, a .22 caliber rifle with ammunition, a camera and a selection of books. So now, 30 years on, I decided to head on my own adventure in the Canadian wilderness to see the raw beauty and the sense of adventure that he must have had. Although it wasn't to his level, I still gained so much from this trip. This was my first big solo adventure abroad, and I was so excited about it.
Right, hello and welcome back to my channel. This is another video from my time in Canada, and today I am starting my first ever wild camp in the backcountry in Canada. I am super excited just to see some of the beauty of this area, but I'm also a little bit nervous with the animal activity and obviously the wide range of predators that you have in this area. The reason why I'm talking actually is because when you're on trail, it is good to talk and be vocal. Obviously being on my own, I can't really speak to somebody else. So apparently your voice travels up to 100 meters and I'm just playing it safe. Obviously I got the bear spray recently. We got some fairly fresh poo here. Right, so I knew on this hike on the way to the camp spot that there was a water source and a little stream that leads into the big stream where I can get water from. So I have bought under 2 litres for tonight, and I've already drunk half like you would. And I'll show you my water source now. It is not good. It is really not good. So yeah, you can tell it's been hot recently. This was meant to be a little stream that leads all the way to the main river at the bottom of this valley. But this is it instead. As I like to say, things always have a way of working out. Yay. So I have just arrived at the camp spot and it is ace. It's set up so well. You've got all these fire pits and like cooking areas, and then you've also got these bear lockers. So you literally just get all your food, your gas, cooking equipment and leave them in these lockers just so it is protected from critters, bears, that sort of thing.
I feel like it's definitely not spoken about enough how exciting and lovely it is to travel with minimal belongings. How simple life can be when you cut out all the materialistic things we have in our lives. I guess this sort of travel teaches you really don't need much to be happy.
You would have seen on the Badger Divide video that recently went up, I've got this tent and I've brought it to Canada as well, and I was really deciding what to do with the tent situation, and I'm so glad I went for this because it's a freestanding tent and this is the only freestanding tent I have, and it's light, it's breathable, it's got really good pockets and ventilation, and I'm so glad I brought it because it's been brilliant. This is just insane. Oh, just how beautiful it is. It is absolutely stunning. As you all know, I love Scotland. I'm in love with Scotland and all the trips I've had there and just everything about it. And this is just like Scotland on steroids of scenery. It's something else. It's just so vast, and that's what I've been kind of finding hard, is getting around, because it's just so many thousands of miles to reach everything, and it's so powerful that, but it's also quite hard when you're on foot. The Rockies is definitely something I've always wanted to see, and to be here now, sat here on a riverbank surrounded by pines or firs or whatever they are, and mountains, and it's something else. So over the next few weeks I'll be camping in the backcountry quite a bit. So I think the best things to get, just to be prepared, are a bear bag. So these are a must for protecting your food from wildlife, especially bears, and attracting bears into the area. You're meant to put all your food, smelly products, everything, bug spray, you name it, into this bag. Put some rope in the tree and hang it in the tree. I have not yet done that, as there's been containers where I've been each time, but this is something I will have to do soon. I've got a carabiner, and this is a Dyneema sort of food-proof bag. As well as that, I've got the good old bear spray. So this is something that I've been keeping on my chest, and something that I'll keep close to me when I'm sleeping at night. So it's definitely something I've been thinking about, and it's in the back of my head a lot of the time, especially when I'm traveling solo and you've got to make noise and just be mindful, I guess. But so far, so good. I haven't had any encounters. So when you get bear spray, which might be new for you because it was new for me, you can get a package where you can get this little holster which can clip onto your pack or onto your hip belt, and then with that you obviously get the bear spray in small, medium or large sizes. But the biggest shock for me personally was how expensive the stuff is. I was expecting like $25 at a push, but this stuff was, I think it was $60 to $65, so I'm not too sure what that is in pounds. I'll put it here, but I was just a bit shocked because there's little chance that you'll actually use this stuff, and let's just say they're making good money from it. Just a safety precaution to keep on me and to sleep next to it in case the shit hits the fan. But this time next week I'll be on the other side of Canada, so I'll be on the west coast, and I will be doing a hike out there, and I will also be doing a bit of canoeing, so I cannot wait. It's going to be epic, it's going to be mega, but it's been an absolute beautiful day and I've really enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to tonight. When tonight comes, it's going to be a new experience. Dinner is served. I've got a shepherd's pie tonight, which should be lovely. It's great having freeze-dried meals because you know that they're pretty light, they taste good, and they last a long time. So especially in this heat, you're not going to have stuff that's going to last long. But I was really fortunate. I reached out to Base Camp Food before I came, and they supplied me a few meals to set me on my way for my trip because I needed a lot of meals, so they contributed towards that, which I'm really thankful for. I've shopped with base camp food for literally the whole time I've been hiking. For every trip I shop with them, just because they have a big variety of different meals and decent prices. So if you want a bit of a discount, because personally I know I always nick people's discount code for base camp food, so for 10% off your order on freeze-dried meals, coffees, whatever you get from base camp food, they've got a big selection of things, then put in Girl Outdoors 10 for 10% off of your final order. So whilst eating my dinner, and as I've stopped and packing everything away, you can hear so many noises in the surrounding area, like hearing twigs snap. I don't know if it's my mind playing tricks on me, but I feel like I'm being watched because we're in a low basin here, and up here is loads of... I keep getting this feeling that I'm being watched because we're in quite a dense forest, and you feel like you're being looked on from up there on that bank. Bloody hell. As you can hear, it's got super windy out there, so I might go out and check my pegs again. But I've had my dinner, brushed my teeth, sorted everything out, and I'm gonna probably hit the hay soon. Pretty knackered. It doesn't get dark until 10:30, 11, and I'm long gone by then. Definitely need to get used to the bears and camping and knowing that there's other animals out there. And I know that's probably the least of my worries. The biggest worry out here is probably the mosquitoes. Yeah, I'm gonna sleep really well tonight, hopefully, and I'll see you tomorrow. An absolutely gorgeous morning. Good morning. Slept amazingly last night. It's very chilly this morning. I think about 6 o'clock it just dropped off the deep end. Woke me up. I just put on some more layers and laid in bed for a little while before getting my stuff from the locker and making a coffee. But yeah, wasn't attacked by any bears. Wasn't disturbed by anything. It's been really peaceful. So as much as this trip has been so beautiful so far, I'm only a week in, and I've seen some really beautiful sights, and it's been insane. I've managed to see beavers and them building their dams. I've managed to see some small wildlife and meet some really lovely people. But besides that, this trip has probably been messy or spontaneous or whatever you want to call it, and it's been constantly changing and evolving, and it's been a very weird and a really different experience. Obviously, like I covered in my last video, I wasn't meant to come here and backpack and hike. I was meant to come on my bike and ride from Calgary to Vancouver, and then obviously things have changed and developed, and the forest fires definitely affected the first portion of my trip. But just being able to sit here and have nobody around, and it's so peaceful, so relaxing, and the views are incredible. It's just something else. Just to have a real nice chill day and to think about things and just really appreciate the tiny simple moment as well. Things always work out. Nothing is permanent, and that will go with everything. Nothing is ever permanent, the good moments or the bad, And I guess you've just got to soak both of them in, the good moments and the bad moments, because that is what makes life, isn't it? So yeah, it's really kicked me into gear and given me a lot of life lessons this trip. Just being out of my comfort zone and not having an exact trip to get onto. So it's just going with the flow, just like this river does. And if there's a blockage or a dam in the river, it can either flood and cause major problems, or you can just push through it and keep going.
For the remainder of my trip, there was frequent times where I found myself just sitting, being still, being in the moment, just time to think, to recap, to reflect, which you don't often get in day-to-day life. So yeah, that was my first backcountry camp in the Canadian wilderness, and it was epic. It was so good. It was lovely watching that back and editing it and seeing how my confidence had just boosted over the time I was there for the 5 weeks. How you're sort of scaremongered when you first get there with the whole camping with wildlife and all the bears, and by the end it was just a normal occurrence of just knowing you're camping with bears, putting your bear bag in the tree and that sort of thing. And as you can see, I had a really peaceful and lovely time in my first overnighter there. There is a lot more coming. I cannot wait to edit through all the footage of my canoe trip and my hike that I did there and put it live on YouTube for you guys in the next coming weeks. After that, I've got another big adventure on the horizon that I'm currently on now in Percy, and I cannot wait to share with you guys what it is, what I'm up to, and all the content that's to come. Thanks again for watching my video. Thank you to all my Patreons for making this possible, who are all listed in the description. I will see you in next week's video. Take care.